Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over how I make my DIY wreath. I have a wreath outside my front door for every season all year round. I decided instead of buying a bunch and having a ton in my garage in storage, I decided to DIY, and that way I just have to keep the one wreath form and then just keep the flowers, which can just be stuffed in with the wreath, and they're a lot less bulky than the wreath in storage. So I first did this, of course, inspiration from Pinterest. I saw a tulip wreath on there, pre-made, and the tulips were pink, I believe pink and maybe purple, and they went around the wreath in like a color coordinated order. Really pretty, not for me. I'll do whatever color and whatever order, and I'm fine with that. I've had this wreath for a few years. I got it from Michael's. They're not that expensive because it's just this brown grapevine wreath. It is real. It does fall apart very easy, like break apart these little bits and pieces. Whenever I take it in and out of the bag, I put it in, it falls apart, which I'm fine with. It wasn't that expensive. Once it's absolutely battered and torn up, I'll buy a new one. But so far I've had it for a few years and it still looks real great. I'm gonna sit down, I guess. So I started doing this with these tulips. I also bought these from Michael's. They just come in regular bouquets. I did cut each and every one of these in their little groups so they would be easier to fit in here because they did come in big bouquets. I think I got these when they were on sale. In the fall, I also use this, and I put in like flowers like these in browns and oranges and yellows and burlap kind of color. Really pretty as well. Really fun to do. These I also bought from a bouquet and just snipped them real short so that they can stick right in here. And I don't hot glue anything in here. I literally just stick it in, and these twigs and sticks hold them very well together. My front porch is like hidden, like comes back in, and there's walls on both sides. So when we get a lot of wind, rain, storms, my front porch isn't really affected. My wreaths, I've never lost any flowers. I maybe come home and there's like one flower on the ground, like these little tulip bits. They just pop right off with the little sticks. I just gotta pop them right back on. Not a big deal. So if of course you have a house where you get lots more wind, a lot more destruction in your front porch, I'd recommend hot gluing them maybe and doing another wreath for each season. But for this case, I'm just gonna stick these things in any which way I want. I typically do start with one color, go around the wreath so that I have them dispersed nicely, and then I'll do the lighter pinks and the other pinks and just make sure everything's kind of dispersed well, so it's not just group, because I like it all spread out like such. And I'll probably leave this wreath on my door for quite some time, since it's also a pretty springy wreath, since them being flowers. So this actually lasts me a while, which I like because it does take me some time to make. This I made. It didn't come with the wreath. I just created like a twine hanger for it because it doesn't come with its own hanger. So I just wrapped a bunch of twine around, like triple knotted it, I think, and I've not touched it since. It's worked really well. The wreath's not that heavy, and this is like 3 layers of twine around it. So this is how I hang it. It's like I said, it's a pretty big wreath. It's like, this is probably a foot just on the inside, so it's a like maybe 18-inch round wreath. Real pretty, I think, when you get everything stuck in here. All right, here we go on the wreath. Product for right now. Of course, I do need to hang it on the door, and I'm sure I'll take some out, move some around, see what it, you know, see how it looks on the door. I don't have a wreath stand, or like, I guess it's a wreath stand where you can hang them and work on them while they're upright. I don't have one of those, so I just do what I can on the table, and I think it looks great. I forget how many bouquets this took me. Obviously there's different colors, so I got like maybe 3 or 4 bunches of each color. I could maybe have a little more, but I feel like it works just fine with how many I have. I do notice I have a few bunched in a few places, and a couple of places are a little bit more sparse. So when I get this hung up on the door, I'll move it around, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like on the front door. All right, here it is, all finished. I think it looks good. Let's get back. Done. And now I'm shoveling snow.